Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name is Storm Rain Productions, and I was just editing. I keep doing that, I don't know why. Anyway, feel free to call me SRP if you'd like. I'm trying to stick to just rotation decks moving forward here, and I'm going based off of the set 7 cards that have been spoiled so far. And there's one in particular that made me want to revisit DJ post rotation. Before we jump in today, I just want to say, or ask if you could please like and subscribe. Definitely helps out quite a bit. Definitely helps my channel because it helps me grow, helps new people find. I'm sure you know the call to action stuff, so that's about as far as I'm willing to go here for right now. So DJ, let's refresh this because I know I've covered him quite a bit before. DJ is our first double aspect leader. Does not have villainy or heroism. It's double cunning, or pairing that with a vigilance base. And DJ is a weird leader because it's got the ability of action, exhaust, choose a friendly unit. If you do, play a unit from your hand. It costs one less. The chosen unit captures it. The when played abilities resolve after the unit is captured. Definitely want to keep that in mind for some of these interactions here. And this deck is a little bit strange, just like all my other DJ. And if you know me at all, I'm sure you expect something weird by now. But let's take a look. I wanted to do something that is a little aggressive. This deck it's weird, and we want a little bit of finishing power. So I am trying accelerate our plans. I don't think this one saw a lot of play just because of Surprise Strike is so good, but I think that in this deck, this is actually pretty decent. One cost event, exhaust a friendly unit. If you do, attack with another unit. It gets +3/+0 for this attack. Just another way to buff up our units. I forgot to mention that DJ flips on 6 and is a 4/6, and while it's a leader, it says that enemies that are rescued come into play ready instead of exhausted. So just food for thought. We're running 2 copies of Lobot. This is ideal for our turn 1 play. We want to get this down and then we can do something with it on turn 2 with DJ. I didn't see a lot of really attractive 1-drops in here currently with the cards revealed from Lawless Time. I didn't see anything that I really liked at 1 that we could play here. So we're going to be doing DJ's ability on the second turn and later. Lobot is 2 cost 0/4, Sentinel with grit. Not a lot to it, but the more it's damaged, the more damage it deals back. And really, one other thing I just wanted to point out with DJ, this, if you want, the easiest way to look at DJ is that this is a when played leader. That's really the best way to look at it. When played abilities are perfect with him because they're going to resolve after they get captured. So that's really what we're looking for. And we're going to use that with Loth-Cat here. I know that it's not really that impressive of a unit, but it's pretty neat if we play a Lobot, and then the following turn we use DJ's ability, and then we put the Loth-Cat underneath Lobot. What happens is the Loth-Cat temporarily comes into play, then gets captured by Lobot. Then the when played ability gets triggered, where you can exhaust a ground unit. So it's just a good way to stall something out for now. That's the primary reason for this card in here. It's also got when defeated. So that means when our Lobot's defeated, our Loth-Cat comes out. It does not re-trigger it because we're not playing it from our hand. One thing you want to remember is when played is going to almost always mean from your hand. So when it's released from capture, it does not trigger when played. Doing 3 copies of Nightsister Warrior, 2 cost 2/2. When defeated, draw a card. If we don't have Lobot, Nightsister Warrior is pretty ideal because it lets us get a card back when it's defeated. Secret of Sage is also very, very good because we can put a bunch of units under this, ideally. And then once Secret of Sage loses its shield and then it's defeated, then we get the captured units back. So this is pretty good as well too, because we're turn 2 we could put a unit underneath it, and then the following turn we can put another one, and then once it's defeated we get an army that comes out. One of the neat new cards that I really like a lot with DJ is this Weakway Pirate, and it's kind of unassuming, and it looks terrible. And the only deck that I can imagine it's good in is DJ, and I think it's really good in DJ. It's a 2-cost, 2/3 with Saboteur. 2-cost, 2/3 is not great, but it has this neat one-played ability. When played, if no resources were paid to play this unit, you can give it an experience token. This can circumvent the timing rules on here, I believe, because it's not... I'm going to have to double check with the rules, but anyway, pretty certain that when this is released, you will get an experience token on it, and that's why I wanted to give it a try. At the time of making this, I haven't been able to test this on the online clients here, so if somebody wants to try it or wants to chime in with that, definitely let me know. But that's the primary reason I was putting this in here, is a way that we could just kind of put it into play and it gets big. So if this does work the way that I'm thinking, then when it comes into play, it's going to end up getting an experience token and becoming a 3/4 because we didn't pay anything for it. Don't know for sure. As I said, the one played is just from when you do it from your hand, so I'm not 100% sure if that triggers, but based off of what I was seeing, it does. So don't take me 100% at that. Again, if you're 100% certain, let me know. I'm doing 3 copies of Charged with Treason, a Charged with Espionage, sorry. 2-cost event. You can disclose Cunning from our hand. If you do, get to look at an opponent's hand and discard a card from it. We really only want to play this while we're ahead. Any discard, for the most part, you want to just play while we're ahead. I'm running 2 copies of the Axe Frigates. It's a new card, and it's just really a waylay effect for something that costs 3 or less. 2-cost event, return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. In that same vein, I'm also running 3 copies of Beguile. It's a 3-cost event, look at an opponent's hand, then choose a non-leader unit that opponent controls that costs 6 or less and return it to its owner's hand. So get to look at their hand, then bounce something with it. Doing 1 copy of Wrong Ride just for a tempo play when we deploy our DJ, but it's exhaust 2 enemy resources for 3. Sometimes we just want to hose our opponent more than we really care about playing our own things. Libertine is kind of, or Libertine, it's kind of a weird one that works pretty cool with DJ. It's 4-cost, 3/7, double cunning, and it says this unit gets +1/+0 for each captured card it's guarding. So if we use DJ's ability a bunch on this, stock up all the stuff, it's just going to get somewhat big. And when played, we get to choose an enemy unit and a non-leader friendly unit. The enemy unit captures the friendly unit. We could potentially have some shenanigans with this. So the enemy unit, choose an enemy unit and a non-leader friendly unit. The enemy unit captures it. So if we have something that's captured something of our own, and then we choose an enemy unit to capture that, then we get our captured unit back that was originally captured. It's just a little bit of a mess. But anyway, it's a cool card. It works good with DJ. I'm trying 3 copies of the new Qui-Gon as well. I like it. It's not insane, but it's good. It's a 4-cost, 3/5 with Sentinel. When played and on attack, we get to look at the top 3 cards of our deck. You may discard one of them and put the rest back on top in any order. So ideally, this, even if we do the capture mode with DJ, this is going to come into play and let us have card selection, if you will. So we can just look at the top 3 and get rid of something that we don't need, and then put the other 2 back. The card that I really wanted to build around was Rio Durant, and this will absolutely work with that Weakway Syndicate for sure, because this has an ability where it's a 4-cost, 2/5, and Cunning Vigilance. When played, we're running 3 copies. When played, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. Then its owner may play it for free. It gains shielded for this phase. So 100% certainty this will absolutely work with Rio. If we play that Weak Way Pirate, if we target it, we're going to be able to put it back into play. It's going to get its experience because we didn't pay anything for it. It's going to be a 3/4, and it's going to have a shield for that phase. It's still going to be exhausted, but it's kind of neat with Rio. We have a couple other things where we can release our captured cards with DJ as well too. So it's just something cool. Plus we can reset something like our Lobot, worst case scenario, or Loth-Cat. We can exhaust something again. But I really like it primarily with the Pirate and with Lobot, because if Lobot gets this damage, it's even good with Secretive Sage because it will get 2 shield tokens, even though one's just for the phase. Lobot's the primary one, and the Weak Way Pirate for sure. So it's pretty cool. Plus it's a 2/5. I'm also running 3 copies of the Duchess's Investigator, which is a 5-cost 4/4, and when played we can disclose Cunning. If you do, each opponent discards a card at random for their hand. If we use this with DJ's ability, we're going to be doing it on 4 rather than 5, which I think at 4 it's probably okay to do that. So that's the primary reason for having this in here, and it's at random, so this could potentially hurt our opponent quite a bit. I'm running 3 copies of Legacy Run because I think that this is a really big way, this is a big meaningful way for us to win races. We're going to probably be behind quite a bit, and with something like the Legacy Run, our opponent's not going to want this to get defeated because they don't want to deal 6 damage to their units. But if they're playing space, we're going to just run it into something. We don't really have too many ways to deal damage to this ourselves. We could Grappling Guardian this. Yeah, that would work. But really, that's about it. There's nothing that's like self-defeat. We'll go over that in just a second. But anyway, that's just meant for like a mini board wipe, if we can run this into something in space. I am running 3 copies of the new Bladewing. I think this is good with DJ's ability. This card is absolutely abysmal. 6 costs, 3/3 in space, and just for the stats are awful. When played, you may return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. This is kind of like a Cantina Bouncer. The stats are just awful. If we can play this for 5, we're getting it at Cantina Bouncer cost, and then we get it underneath another unit with DJ. So it's at least playable in that aspect, and that's the reason why I'm going with the full 3 here, because we can do this on 5, and the when played still works. The Legacy Run thing does work with Grappling Guardian. 7 cost with DJ's ability at 6. It's a 3/9. When played, you may defeat a space unit with 6 or less remaining hit points. This is always going to have that. So it doesn't say enemy. And lastly, I didn't put a sideboard in here just because this is just really new, and I wanted to try to put something together just based off of the Rio. But the last card is Lando, 7 cost, 6/8 with Grit. And when played, you may choose an enemy unit and another friendly non-leader unit. If you do, heal 6 damage from your base, and the enemy unit captures the friendly unit. We can do all sorts of weird stuff. We can let our our best when played get captured by an opponent, and then we could Bladewing and bounce it if we really wanted to, or Grappling Guardian. There's a lot of interesting and neat things. We can do things like the Beguile or the Axe Forgets, and then immediately we can, if depending on the situation, our opponent is exhausted, they can't replay the unit, then we can just charge with Espionage and get rid of it completely. So there's a lot of shenanigans that we can do, and it's a good way to heal with this Lando. But it's a cool looking deck at least, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I like weird leaders anyway, so by all means give this a try if you'd like. And yeah, that's about it for now. Hope that you guys like it. Thanks for stopping by. May the Force be with you, my friends, and be well. Take care.